Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving into a crucial detailing job that actually doesn't get enough press, I don't think, mainly because I don't think there's a lot of cars that have this anymore, but cleaning a convertible top. Now this isn't like detailing paint or wheels. Convertible tops are made from different materials, each requiring a unique approach. So whether you're detailing a fabric or vinyl or canvas, the techniques I'll show you today will keep it looking fresh, clean, and well protected, which again is the most important. And if you've got a top that's been exposed to dirt, pollution, bird dropping, sat underneath a carport for a long time like this one, or just general wear, this guide will walk you through everything for an effective and safe clean. So let's get into it. To start, let's set up our workspace, talk about tools, products we'll need. As everyone knows, efficiency is key for me, so I love doing this. So for a convertible top, especially one that's been neglected, want to focus on gentle cleaning with minimal scrubbing to avoid damaging the material. I'll be using my go-to product, of course, a super soaper and a pump sprayer first to pre-treat, and that is because the pump sprayer lets me control the amount of product I apply while evenly distributing it across the top. I don't want to get any splotchy splotches. So I have the pump sprayer diluted with about 2 ounces or so in the pump sprayer. And this is what I love for exterior cleaning like this, even tires too, but that's for another video. It provides a good balance of being an effective cleaner without being too harsh. So now convertible tops are exposed to more elements than usually the rest of the car by nature of where they are on the car. They get hit by direct sun, rain, pollutants. And so this product is designed to break down tough grime without excessive scrubbing, which makes it ideal for something as delicate as a convertible top can be. So a quick pro tip here, lay down some microfiber towels around the edges of your car if you want to catch any product runoff, if you really want to see how much dirt is coming off. I didn't do that because I'm still detailing the rest of the car, and this car is in for a paint correction as well. So if you are worried about overspray on the paint, which you don't need to be with the super soaper, which again is why I use it versus if you use something like an all-purpose cleaner. If you used an all-purpose cleaner here instead of a really effective cleaner like the super soaper, which is again goes into why I developed the super soaper and why I think it's such an awesome product, is an APC. If you used an all-purpose cleaner, super clean, any all-purpose cleaner here, you can really damage other sensitive parts of the car around the top. And so again, another reason why I chose this product specifically is when mixed with 2 or 3 ounces in a pump sprayer, it's going to offer that higher pH, that higher cleaning ability without running the same risk as you do with an all-purpose cleaner with it running down the side of the car. Okay. So now that we're all set up, it's time to apply the pre-treatment. Pre-treatment is all about letting the cleaner do the heavy lifting, so you don't have to rely on aggressive scrubbing. I'm going to apply a generous amount of the super soaper. I probably should have filled it up a little bit, or filled it up again. I only had about a half of sprayer left in here, and so I probably needed a full pump sprayer full, but that's okay. So when you're spraying, focus on the seams or stitching. These are areas that tend to collect more dirt and grime as well, so be aware of that. Convertible tops have seams. The dirt loves to settle in there, so give those spots a few extra sprays if you feel like you need to ensure thorough coverage. So this super soaper, again, is designed to penetrate deep into the fabric and lift those contaminants to the surface. So after applying the soap, we'll let it sit for about 3 to 5 minutes. This is what I like to call the dwell time. So during this time, it's important to just don't let the product dry out. Same as when you're washing the car. You can let it almost dry out, but not all the way. If you work in the shade, that's ideal. You could do this in direct sun, but you're just going to have to be aware that it will dry out a little bit faster. If you absolutely need to, you can either lightly mist it with water to keep it wet, or keep it from evaporating rather, or you can reapply a little bit more product if you have any left in your pump sprayer. And after letting the super soaper sit, it's time to work it into the surface. So this may be a little controversial, but I'm using my hand instead of a brush. And there's really a specific reason for that. So convertible tops, especially if they're a bit older, like this one, this is an '03, I believe, that lives outside. So it's lived outside for over 20 years. Especially if they're a bit older, like this one, like I said, or haven't been cleaned in a while, they can be really fragile or brittle in spots. So using your hand allows for a much gentler touch, so you can feel any sensitive areas, but mainly you can avoid damaging anything, especially by the rear window. I'm working in the soap, and you can start see the dirt and grime kind of rinsing into the foam, and that's what you'll start to see because that dirt and grime has been lifted into the foam. Convertible tops, especially fabric or canvas ones, tend to trap dirt deep into the fibers, right? So by using your hands, you're allowing the soap to really penetrate without pushing the dirt deeper in or causing friction that could wear down the material over time. And this is key. We want the soap to break down the dirt, not the friction. So you'll see in most other videos, people will go straight to a brush. I just like to avoid that because common sense says throughout all of detailing, if we start with the least aggressive method first, then we work our way to more aggressive. So starting with a brush just seems like you're starting with the most aggressive way first, and you actually get really good results just using a really good soap mixed in with your hand. So you'll notice the foam starts to look a little darker in some areas as it pulls the grime up, and that's exactly what we want to see. It's a sign that the product is actively lifting the contaminants to the surface. And the great thing about the Super Soaper that it continues to work even as I gently move it around. So take your time here, focus on any particular dirty areas that you've noticed before you started foaming it up. And remember, this is just about letting the product do the work, not applying heavy pressure. And you'll see after I rinse it again, I actually foam the whole entire car, and I will again foam the top again to just give it a little extra cleaning time. So sometimes you might find areas with really stubborn grime that just won't come off with soap alone. In cases like this, it's okay to reach for a soft bristle brush, but I recommend this only as a last resort, like I just said. Using a brush with a gentle, fine bristles and apply minimal pressure. Convertible tops can be fragile, and using a hard or aggressive brush can damage the material over time, especially on older tops. You do not want to be caught holding the bag and have to replace a convertible top. Trust me. Luckily, I'm not speaking from any experience there other than being very close to speaking from experience, if you know what I'm saying. So here's a quick example. If you do not have to use a brush, keep your motions light and in small circles, working just the area that needs it. And remember, this is only for really stubborn spots. Let the soap alone, can't tackle. So once you're satisfied with the cleaning, it's time to rinse. Now, rinsing the convertible top requires attention to detail because any leftover soap or dirt left into the material, leaving it looking streaky or blotchy, which can happen all the time. That's, again, why I used a pump sprayer versus like a trigger sprayer. You could just get a little bit better of an even coverage, and then rubbing it in with your hand as well helps you get more of an even coverage. So you could use a low pressure water source if you want and rinse from one side to the other. I'm using a pressure washer and just moving in long, even strokes. And you'll notice at first the water looks really cloudy with the soap and the dirt that's being washed away. Keep rinsing until you see the water start to run clear. Okay, so convertible tops can hold onto suds and contaminants. So this step is crucial. You really want to take your time here and work your way across the top, ensuring every area is fully rinsed. It might take a few passes. You might have to start over, back and forth, kind of flop from side to side, but it's worth it to get it looking perfectly clean, especially without any residue. So one more thing to keep in mind, though, be thorough around the seams and edges. These spots can trap soap, and you want to avoid leaving any residue behind, especially because you're going to add some protection to this when we're all said and done. So if you do see any leftover suds or dirty water, just rinse it again until everything's running clear. That's kind of the thing I look for, clean running water. So once you're done rinsing, it's time to dry the top. So these convertible tops can actually absorb a lot of water, and so it can be really, really frustrating. What I like to do, since I'm in California, I simply just leave it outside and let it dry. And luckily, I'm usually year-round in the 60s and 70s, and so these things dry pretty quickly. But if you're not, you're going to want to reach for a clean, dry microfiber towel. And just gently pat the surface. This is huge. Avoid wiping or scrubbing. We're simply letting the towel absorb as much water as possible. This prevents, again, any unnecessary friction, and most importantly, avoids leaving lint behind. You are not trying to create more work for yourself, less. So that's why I let it just air dry. But again, if you can't let it air dry, just find a towel and dab it, right? So like an XL drying towel would be perfect for this. And if you find the towel getting too wet, grab a second one. Convertible tops can take a surprising amount of water. I mean, they are designed to be exposed to full-blown rain, right? So you don't want to leave any moisture on there, though. Take your time here. Again, just like rinsing, this will help you get a nice, even finish. So once the top is completely dry, you can add a layer of protection. So for this, I actually use Tough as Shell. This is kind of an off-label use, but it's a versatile ceramic spray that works wonders on convertible tops. And applying a protectant like Tough as Shell helps repel water, block UV rays, and prevent dirt buildup, which keeps the top looking brand new and extends the lifespan. So how you do it is you just spray a little bit of Tough as Shell either onto a microfiber applicator, or you could spray it directly onto the top, which is my preferred way to do it, and saturate it. Don't be afraid to not oversaturate it. You want to get into the fibers of the top. So, you could really soak it in there, almost, don't make it too wet again, but you want to make sure it's fully dry before you do this. And you can then, after do that, take an applicator, not a microfiber towel, because again, you don't want any linting. So take a applicator and you can kind of smooth around and help it penetrate there. But the idea is to, apply a thin, even layer. So again, take your time, make sure every part of the top is covered, and the protectant will also help make future cleanings easier. It adds a layer that the dirt and contaminants can't really easily penetrate. So again, this is an off-label use for Tough as Shell, but it works incredibly well for it. So one of the things I love about Tough as Shell is that it will add that hydrophobic property. So the water will bead up nicely and roll off the surface. And it's really beneficial for convertible tops. So it prevents water from soaking in, causing mold and mildew over time, and you could reapply it as often as you want. So if you have a convertible top, you can wipe down the paint with Tough as Shell and add a few sprays to the top and let it soak in, and you're good to go. You're protecting that top too. And that's a wrap. We've gone from dirty, worn-looking top to a perfectly clean and protected finish. So key takeaways, again, start with a thorough pre-treatment with the Super Soaper. Use your hands rather than a brush to work in the soap, and rinse until the water runs clear. Super important there. Finish it off with a quality protectant like Tough as Shell for long-lasting results. 303 also makes a similar product that can do a similar thing. Convertible tops may require a bit more care, but honestly, the results are worth it. Nothing looks quite as good as a nice, clean, and protected convertible top. So thanks for watching. I hope this guide helps you to keep your convertible top looking its best. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more in-depth detailing guides. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. See ya.